Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another BTNeanderthal video. Today we are updating or covering the new update on Diablo 4. Quarterly update for October 2021 is here. I don't actually know anything about today's update, so I am excited to venture into this with you. Table of contents, we got introduction, the sound design of Diablo 4. So it sounds like today it's going to be covering sound. Welcome to a new quarterly update. Joe Shelley from D4 team is a design lead who will be working with us in Dark Shared Open World RPG. From the beginning, I'm honored to continue the vision game director and humbled to represent team pouring their hearts into the game. Awesome. Got a new game director. That's good news because the other one didn't work out. Like many of you, our team has been reflecting upon recent events. Yep, talking about the Blizzard stuff that's been going on over the past few years. We've assembled a strong team with incredible passion for Diablo 4. The Diablo fans are a critical part of this team, meaning us. With this help, the valuable feedback, we refined and deepened the gameplay experience. Excellent. Good to hear, man. Very community driven, it seems. Sanctuary should always be items glittering in dark dungeons. Tales of powerful heroes standing against the onslaught of hell. Today we're talking about a deep dive in the sound design of Diablo 4. Sound is sometimes underappreciated, the integral element of game design. Absolutely true. Very, very true. Yeah, incoming damage, items, confirmation of button presses, hits, and all that stuff. So, sound also conveys subtext of the world. Yep, gives you a feeling. Reading the blog, I encourage you ambient tracks and pay attention to their effect in the heart rate and emotions. Yep, very true. Crafting Diablo's sound requires science, art, the occasional ball of fire. We hope you enjoy this update. Look forward to your thoughts and reactions as promised. All right, thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Congratulations on being the new game director for Diablo 4, and let's jump into this. The sound design of Diablo 4. We got Chris over here. Gyampa. Sound supervisor for Diablo 4. Let me just tell you right now, I hate audio. Not because I don't like audio, but because I hate working with it. So, this man is a freaking legend in my eyes, okay? Chris is a freaking legend. The sound team has been steadily cranking away on the soundscape for a while. Wanted to give you some insight on the audio process, the content, motivation behind the sound. Please enjoy snowy and dark, stormy ambience of fractured peaks below as you start your journey. All right, they want us to listen to this. So I guess we can exit out of Diablo 2 Resurrected. And we'll listen to this. Ooh. It's a cool background too. Link in the description for this will be also below if you're interested. 15 minutes long. Yeah, we're gonna read this for a long time. No, it shouldn't take 15 minutes. But I'm excited to hear this while we're listening or while we're reading. Sound and music in games are invisible glue that supports the storytelling. However, you can feel it literally with the sound waves. Creepy, dude. Against your body, depending on what you're listening back on. It's an amazing medium. How you feel emotionally in the game. I absolutely do agree with this. Naturally, we want anyone and everyone who might be hearing impaired to enjoy the experience of Diablo as well. So we are taking measures to broaden the experience to be inclusive for people with hearing and visual disabilities. There are accessibility features underway that we hope to talk about more in the future. That's interesting. How do you... I'm very interested to see what this actually is. Because while I'm not impaired in any way, it's, I know, you know, some people are affected by this, and it's interesting to figure out how they try to, you know, overcome these issues and things. The devil is in the details. For D2 or D4 Soundscape, we've continued the tradition of gratifying combat, expanded upon the ambience to support the epic world, continue the darkness and the tone, the gore, cleaner lit punchy audio. It's adapting the situation as you play. Nice. One of the biggest goals we try to focus on as sound designers is to make the highest quality sounds to be triggered back in the game real time. To make it more believable, make you feel like you're in the world, tied to the experience. The randomness of the audio playback is utmost importance when it comes to gameplay. If you think about real life, nothing is ever heard the exact same way twice due to listening environment, positioning of sound, and sources. This is good. I like the direction that this article is going, honestly. Sounds never play back at the same exact sound pressure level, along with the reflections within your environment and everything else happening around you at the moment in time. In essence, they're always subtle, real-life reasons as to why nothing ever sounds the exact same way. So sound designers for video games, we always strive to introduce subtle randomizations or randomized variants in the game. When we're doing our job correctly, it's something you tend to notice and supports immersion in the game. Or not notice, I should say. Something you don't notice and supports the immersion in the game. Another huge goal when creating audio for Diablo 4 is to fill in sounds for just about everything that's occurring on your screen. Whether it's world ambience, monsters, tiny chunks of wood, so like items, or breaking things, everything should make a sound. We pour countless hours of effort into covering almost everything we don't see. You see and don't see. So that's why they're saying the devil is in the details. However, just because we are filling in as much sound as we can, it doesn't mean you need to hear it every time. The playback engine within the game will not trigger too many instances of a sound if they are trying to play at the same time based on strict... Okay, so like, there's certain rules behind what is triggered and what is not triggered. You being able to see so much on screen at once, we limit how many instances of each sound will be playback in any given moment. Once dialed in correctly, you tend to not notice that some instances were never triggered. And that helps with the clarity of the audio mix. More creative side. There's no Diablo game without the heroes who do your bidding to vanquish the various evils. So, hero fire skills. The sound crew luckily gets to record all kinds of neat, unique sounds. Sound design is technically described as taking a recorded audio source, editing it, processing to another medium. The sound could be exactly what it was originally meant for, or end up sounding completely different and used for something else entirely. True. I've come across some of these basic things myself, just in the streaming years. Something we always tend to need for a game like Diablo is, of course, fire. When time permits, we plan for some time to record sounds out in the field. For Diablo 4, one of the first big recordings we did as a team was a desert fire session before the lockdown. That's pretty funny. We traveled far from Blizzard HQ to record various types of fire sounds. The deserts of California, oof. I mean, I guess if you're right there, you know, that's going on quite often. So the deserts of California, multiple rigs and microphones. Thankfully, since it was wintertime, it wasn't too hot during the day and just a bit cold at night. So they wanted to like capture what it was like with ambience, rock impacts, the movements, the wood, door slams, all these different things. Interesting. Sorceress Skills. Some of the fire recordings were then used specifically for the Sorceress Skills, Firebolt and Inferno. For skill Firebolt, recorded sets of wispy and smoldering flame whooshes, using a fire staff or a dried out medium sized log of wood. Perform the sound in various waves around the sets of microphones. Once we had a nice assortment of different sounds, then we ended up processing those fire whooshes. Whooshes, dude. Best word ever. Into the game ready one-shot audio files for the casting and impacts. That's pretty sick. One shot, one opportunity, as well as long loops for projectile traveling through the air. It all comes together as one cohesive sounding experience hooked up in the game playback. That's sick. It's good. For Inferno Sorceress Skill, they then used fire recordings and processed them to sound more aggressive. Powerful for larger skills. Just like Firebolt, there's a set of casting one-shot sounds. Set of loops and other ones for one-shot when the snake form constricts its body. One cool thing about the Inferno skill is that while it's fire that has taken the form of a snake. Okay, that makes more sense now. I was like, wait, I don't know where this is going. Because of this form, we are able to take some liberties on pushing it away from just fire sound design. We added some snake rattling sound effects paired with a darker tone ethereal end to skill sound to make it feel a bit more magical. Alright, well, I kind of want to... What is this? Updated blog behind... What is this? Desert recording session. Alright, let's hear this. We're going in. Sound development field recording.
Big flame.
This is Poi Ball of Death. Take two. Take two.
Take 4 or 5. With the fire staff, all 4 wicks are on fire. It's a big one. It's a big one.
That's sick. Well, that's pretty sick, dude. That's pretty sick. Monster sound design, Diablo games wouldn't be as fun if you didn't have monsters to slay. One of the most fun things about working on a Diablo game is the vast amount and variants of monsters that exist. This makes monsters ripe for both experimental and more traditional sound design. Monsters' movements. The combination of expert animation and AI brings life and personality to the creatures as they undertake their nefarious activities. Always recommend that the sound designers start by adding footsteps and foley, clothing or skin to their animations. The movement the creature has, footsteps and foley, the creature's cadence and rhythm of their movement really comes to life. That makes sense. That makes sense. Monster's voice. The next layer that flashes the birthing. These are some creative verbiage. Some creative verbiage here. Of the creature into existence is their voice exertions. Exertions, there we go. These are grunting, yelling sounds from exerting at the player as they attack or scream in pain as you take them out one by one. Each monster family can be quite different from the next, so depending on the type of monster, we might have intense sound layers of animalistic type sounds or even everyday objects will manipulate. So sound like a screech or a scream to create a layer within that final voice. This is pretty involved sound. I would never want to be a sound person, dude. Never want to be a sound person. It'd be cool to be like the person that's making the sounds, like, you know, voice acting or something, but this Foley? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. In case of the wood wraith, it's almost fully sound designed from wood creaks and strains processed to extreme lengths, and choosing the right sounds to convey emotion. The wood wraith was a blast to sound design as most freaky and creaky wood sounds. Alright, well, let's see what this is. The wood wraith, man. That's pretty sick. I like the creaks. Definitely freaky, man. That is really cool, though. I will say that. Very cool. Another monster we had the pleasure of working on is disgustingly awesome Fly Host. This beast walks around, birthing flies to attack the player. We ended up using some of our early gore session recordings where we ripped and smacked cabbages and melons and stirred and squished mayonnaise, salsa, and a delicious 7-layer dip into a not so great smelling slurry to make some slimy, disgusting sounds. Well, this is gonna be disgusting. I'm ready, man. It's gonna be nasty. Sounds intense for one mob, yeah. Bruh. Disgusting, man. Disgusting. Open world. I like that they have the examples, though. That's pretty cool. Open world ambience. One of the audio pillars for Diablo 4 is living audio. What this means is the soundscape is ever evolving and never static. This pillar is built deep into the sound design variations we create for all types of sounds, including when it plays back real time in the game, especially the ambience. Because of the importance of the massive open world, we wanted to give ambience as much detail as possible and think of it as on the same level as hero design. Which is fair, because if it's going to be open world, it's still going to be like, feel like Diablo. Having audio and systems changing subtly over time is a key to this pillar. We always wanted subtle changes in ambience that might not be noticeable, less repeatable, and feel more natural. The world building team has done an amazing job giving us a huge amount of inspiration and filling out the regions visually so that we can follow up with immersion in the audio, in the ambient audio. Since the player might be in the open world for a large amount of time, we wanted to support each exterior region with unique sounding environments that include subtle changes to the audio mix over time. Kind of like I said a minute ago. To help achieve this, we use audio systems like real-time occlusion, high-quality reverbs, and environment reactive delay and echoes. We provided some long-form recordings of in-game footage with a static shot where you can hear the ambience changing over time. Not only does this show some cool ambient sound design, but we also wanted to provide these to you for your tabletop RPG sessions, or even just to sit back and get lost in while working. I like that idea. That's pretty sick. The clips were recorded 5 to 6 minutes and looped in about an hour. Dry steps. So I guess we could listen to these while we're doing some of the other ones. Fractured Peaks. They're unlisted, chat. It's unlisted. I'll like them. Dude, that looks cool, man. And then, like I said, I'll just post a link, I think, for every one of these in the chat or in the video if you guys want to check these out, because we might not have time to visit all these. But I am actually interested in playing these and listening to these. Maybe we'll listen to them on stream here and there. I don't know. We'll see. Dungeon Ambience. When it comes to Diablo dungeon crawler style ambience, we take a special delight in creating various and unique sounding experiences to heighten your immersion. Our approach to dungeon ambiences is a bit less intense compared to the new open world, as we don't want to distract you away from a key part of what makes Diablo fun, dungeon crawling. This is one area where we can take liberties in deeply diving into the hellish and creepy soundscapes while having the monsters on screen to accompany the audio experience. For Diablo 4, we are taking a more realistic approach. What you hear is what you get. When within a dungeon. With long reverberation and sound occlusion, I want you to pay close attention to what might be just around the corner, mentally preparing you for the next pack of enemies. Breaking interactives. Scattered around the dungeons are a plethora of gratifying great breakables. The interactives team have been creating hundreds of amazingly detailed breakable objects in Diablo 4 for the amazing amount of detail they put into objects as they break. It's always very satisfying, like the barrels in Diablo 2 and the Diablo 3, you know, you break a bunch of objects and you get that speed bonus. They're putting more emphasis on realistic sounds. It's cool. I like that. We in turn wanted to fill in every silver and chunk of destruction you see believable physics, with believable physics audio. That's kind of cool. Destroying objects in Diablo should sound just as gratifying and believable as taking down monsters. They put a lot of effort into this. In the debris and the different things flying in the room. I am amazed at the level of detail we have for breakables in Diablo 4. One of my most favorite things to do is one of my favorite things to do when I see a room full of them is to have Adam. Okay, I understand. Destruction. Let's see. This does sound pretty realistic. Like when you destroy your friend's treehouse. good. It's good. I dig it. I dig it, man. Pretty realistic. All right. Game mix. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about Isometric Camera. It provides some interesting changes or challenges when it comes to bringing all the elements of the game mix together, because you can see the battlefield at a certain angle out to a certain range. We have to make sure that the monsters existing on the screen are covered with audio. There's a lot of real-time juggling of the sound playback based on priorities and importance to the player. For Diablo 4, we are able to drive the real-time audio mix more than ever. Because of the isometric camera view, we must trigger sounds on just about everything you see, but focus your ears on the most important sounds you should be paying attention to. So, clarity of the game audio mix is hard to achieve in a game where you can have multiple heroes as well as various amounts of monsters and ambiences and different sounds on the screen. So they really wanted to focus on making sure that everything has an audio and that it's always on the screen. You know, everything on the screen is giving you some type of audio feedback. So that's good, because not every game does that. You know, like the pack that sits far away. I feel like Diablo 2 kind of did, or the resurrected version kind of did some of that recently. But like, you're even hearing things from far away in Diablo 2 Resurrected. But like, I would think of like in D3, say you have like an elite pack far away in the distance, you don't really hear anything from them. There's like, sound is kind of, you know, it doesn't fill the whole screen, kind of like I think they're trying to do here. We hope you have enjoyed this brief look into the sound design of Diablo 4. There's so much more to talk about, but alas, we have to save it for another time. Welcome any feedback, anything you hear about the videos, learn the Quarter blog. Thank you for taking the time in the soundscape of Diablo 4. Thank you, Chris, and everybody a part of this. This was pretty cool. I do like the sounds, and I will be listening to these in the background, maybe on future streams and things like that. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this quarterly update for October 2021. So Diablo 4 is getting closer and closer. I like the quarterly updates. I do appreciate that. The sound demonstrations, probably my favorite thing was the wood wraith. That was like really cool, man. That was really cool. I like the wood wraith. But anyways, I will catch you guys later. Thank you all for watching. You guys are beasts. What? The dude drops me a freaking steel carapace? Easy hell rune, let's go. Give me that hell rune. Wow, that's all you gotta do is ask for a hell rune, you actually get the gold rune. Let's go. Get scammed, game. Get scammed. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I should say goal, yeah. Goal, yeah, man. Alright, I want to look this up because I'm a nerd. We're gonna look this up. Max roll. Let's go. Holy Grail. How fast though? It's super unique. How fast though? I don't know how much MF we had. We have like 107. Steel carapace. Dude, holy crap. Dang. 392,000. I figured it was gonna be somewhat rare. Let's compare that to like a River of Flame monster here. Unique to like Tyrael's might, maybe. Well, River of Flame makes more sense, right? We got this Steel Carapace. Let's take a look at Tyrael's. Okay, Tyrael's is a little bit more rare, but it's not bad. Oh, Astrians. Okay, it's a lot rarer than Astrians, the drop we had. It's, what about Death's Web? Okay. Well, it's a lot. It's really rare. It's not as rare as Tyrael's in that scenario, but it's rare as frick. You have Amral, Sonny, so I can try to roll this and see what I get. Heck yeah, dude. Oh, 4 sockets. Nice. I love this game. This game is good.